My parents sent photos of their new home with everyone there except me. Caption, the family that stays together. I didn't respond. Weeks later, they visited and said, "We need some money to complete the basement." I replied, "You built it without me." Hey guys, I'm just one subscriber away from 1,000. If you're watching this, maybe you're the one who can help me hit that goal. Please subscribe. It means the world to me. Red Heart, finish it without me. My dad exploded. My mom went crazy. I was at work when the photo came in. Just a simple group shot. My parents, my two brothers, their wives, their kids. Everyone standing on the porch of this beautiful new house my parents had just finished building. They were smiling like they'd won the lottery. Matching shirts, confetti. My mom was even holding a ridiculous little chalkboard sign that said the family that stuck together. I wasn't in the photo. I wasn't even told they moved in. First, I thought maybe it was a mistake. Like maybe they just forgot to send the invite, or maybe the photo was old. But when I looked closer, I saw my youngest niece holding a balloon that said 2025. It was taken that week. And the way my brother stood there, arms slung over each other's shoulders like a beer commercial. It was clear I hadn't just been forgotten. I'd been cut out. I didn't respond. I didn't ask why. I didn't even tell my mom it was weird to send something like that. I just closed the photo and went back to work, my phone face down on my desk. That night, I showed it to my husband. He just stared at it, blinked, and said, "So, I guess we're not family anymore." Then he got up to put the dishes away. We didn't talk about it after that. What was there to say? A few weeks later, they showed up. My parents right on our front porch with a box of grocery store donuts like they were stopping by for brunch. We hadn't spoken since the photo. My dad came in first, casual like always, like nothing had happened. My mom followed behind him, smiling way too much. They sat down in our living room without asking. I just stood there waiting to hear whatever excuse they'd cooked up. They never gave one. My dad cleared his throat and said they were short on funds. They needed just a little bit of cash to finish the basement. He said it like it was a favor between family, like I should already have my checkbook in hand. I didn't say anything right away. They kept talking, describing how close the place was to being perfect, how all the kids had their own rooms, how they wanted to put in a home theater downstairs, how my brothers were already helping out with labor. My mom even joked that I could come watch a movie once it was all done. I just stared at her. Then I said, "You built it without me. Finish it without me." Silence. My dad's face turned red. He started shouting about how ungrateful I was, how they always helped me when I needed it, and now they were just asking for a little help in return. My mom looked like she was about to cry. She kept saying she didn't understand where this attitude was coming from. I didn't bother explaining. I just walked over and opened the door. They left, muttering the whole way out. But the second the door closed, I finally exhaled. My husband came out of the bedroom and said one thing. "You okay?" I nodded, but I wasn't because I kept thinking back to all the times I bailed them out. 2 years ago, they couldn't afford the down payment on the land for the new house. They didn't call my brothers. They called me. And I, like an idiot, asked my husband if we could loan them 20 grand. That was our money. Money we were saving for IVF for a car that didn't rattle like a tin can for just a little breathing room. He said yes because he trusted them. Because he thought they'd pay us back. They never did. Then came the heating system. Another 5,000. That was my personal savings. Scraped together over 2 years of extra shifts, canceled trips, no holidays, gone in one phone call. Every time they promised to repay it. Every time they smiled and thanked me like I just handed them a casserole. Now here they were again, donuts in hand like that photo didn't exist. Like we were all still one big happy family. But this time was different. This time I wasn't just going to let it slide. Later that night, my husband and I sat down with a glass of wine and went through every bank transfer, every check, every text thread. I pulled out the envelope where I'd written loan to parents and updated the total at the bottom. $25,000. I looked at it and said, "That's it. I want it back." He didn't argue. He just asked me one question. "Are you ready for what comes with that?" I was because I knew exactly what came next. The morning after they stormed out of our house, I sent my parents a message. I kept it short, no fluff. "I've reviewed everything. You owe us $25,000. That's $20,000 from Daniel and $5,000 from me. Please let us know how and when you plan to return it." No response. I waited 3 days, then forwarded the exact same message. Still nothing. By the end of the week, my mom called, cheerful, like nothing had happened. She asked if we were doing okay and if we wanted to come by on Sunday to see the kids. I didn't say a word about the invite. I just repeated what I'd already written and asked if she got the message. She said yes, and then started going on about how they were just so busy with the house lately and things were a little tight right now. Said she didn't want this to become a big issue and that money is not worth ruining relationships. I said one thing, you're right. That's why you should return what you owe. She hung up. That weekend, Daniel and I met with a lawyer. I'd gathered every receipt, every Venmo transfer, every text thread where they promised to get it back to us next month. Even an old birthday card my mom had written when we gave them the second loan. We're so grateful for your help again. You two always come through. We'll repay it as soon as the tax refund hits. The lawyer didn't even blink. He just looked at the numbers and said, "You've got a case." We drafted the demand letter that day, sent it certified mail. I made sure it required a signature. It landed 2 days later. That's when things really started spinning. My dad didn't call me. He called Daniel. Said I was being hysterical. Said I was misremembering everything, that the money wasn't a loan. It was a gift from family, that we'd all agreed years ago not to keep track. Daniel said, "No, you said that." Deborah never agreed to it. Then he hung up. 4 days of silence. And then suddenly I was getting texts from my younger brother, Evan. He was furious, demanding to know why I was threatening legal action. I asked him what my parents told him. He said they claimed it was about a few hundred I gave them when they were in a tough spot, and now I was trying to sue them over it. Made me sound like a lunatic. So I sent Evan the receipts. Every single dollar, screenshots, dates, names, transfers. He went quiet. Then he wrote, "They told me it was just $100 for groceries." What the hell? I said, "Yeah, what the hell indeed." Evan wasn't even mad after that, just confused. And then he told me something that made my stomach twist. He said they'd borrowed money from Uncle Alan, too, supposedly to hold them over until spring. That's when I called Uncle Alan myself. He's never been close with my parents, but he's smart and doesn't fall for games. I told him what was going on, and he didn't sound surprised. Said he gave them 15 grand last year when they said the builder walked off halfway through and they needed to bring in someone else to finish framing. He assumed they were borrowing the rest from the bank. They weren't. They were bleeding family dry one at a time and telling each of us a different version of the same story. Alan asked for proof. I emailed him everything. An hour later, he called back and said, "Let me handle it." I didn't ask what that meant, but I trusted him. I knew how he worked. He didn't do drama, but he didn't let things slide either. That week, he showed up at their house. And whatever he said, whatever happened behind that closed door, it must have hit hard because the next day, my mom texted me for the first time in weeks. Her text read, "Can we please talk?" Like it was a small misunderstanding. Not $25,000 worth of betrayal. I stared at her message, feeling the bait. Told her to come over with Dad. If they had something real to say it to my face. They arrived the next day, 5 p.m. I didn't invite them in, just opened the door and walked to the living room. Daniel sat on the couch, unmoving. My parents entered, quiet, not sorry. Dad had that look, faking calm over fury. Mom smiled like she was at a picnic. They sat like they owned the place. Mom spoke first, naturally. Shocked I'd involved a lawyer. Hurt that I'd take it there. "Family doesn't do this," she said. "Exactly," I shot back. She paused, thrown off. Then came the excuses. Money's tight. They're stressed. Never meant to exclude me. They're trying. I asked about the photo. Everyone but me. She blinked, confused, then said, "Just a casual shot when everyone was over." Everyone but me. I repeated. Dad jumped in, done with my guilt tripping. Asked what I wanted. Said they're not rich. I'm attacking their life building. I owe them for raising me. I said, "I just want what you owe me." He snapped, "What if we don't pay?" I didn't blink. Then it's court. He stood, yelling, "Disgusting, selfish, Daniel's manipulating me." Mom begged him to calm down, but didn't stop him. Kept saying we're too harsh. We should fix this like family. Daniel stood, calm but firm. "Deborah's done everything for you, and you've treated her like a spare." They left. No hugs, no promises. Door slammed, car sped off. A week passed. No texts, no payment plans, no fake apologies. Then Evan, my younger brother, texted, "Wiry Mom and Dad saying you're suing over gas money." I laughed, sent him the truth, bank statements, transfers, messages, $25,000 total. 2 hours later, he replied, They said it was $200 for groceries. 200. Called Uncle Alan. He knew. Dad had asked him for money 2 nights prior, claiming I was suing them. Alan asked, "Is it true?" I said, "Absolutely." He'd lent them $15,000 last year. Same lies. Urgent need. Family helping family. He was done. I sent him our proof. He said, "Don't worry. If they try anything, I'll ruin them before court does." 2 days later, we filed. Lawsuit submitted, served by week's end. Then the family circus began. Parents called everyone. Aunts, cousins, friends, claiming I was unstable. Daniel was controlling. The money wasn't real. But people asked for proof. Evan and Alan shared the screenshots. Cousins connected dots. This wasn't new. Smaller scams, quieter moves, same pattern. No one had fought back before. Then, in panic, they asked Alan for money again. He said, "You're asking me to fund your defense against your daughter's lawsuit for stealing from her?" They didn't flinch, said they needed help to smooth things over. He laughed, told them off. Called me later. "They're not just broke, Deborah. They're shameless." That's worse. After Alan's public rejection, silence. No texts, no calls. Family group chats went quiet. We figured they were regrouping, maybe hoping we'd back off. We didn't. Filed the formal claim, sent it to the county clerk, got confirmation. They had 30 days to respond. On day 12, something wild happened. Daniel's boss, not a friend, his boss, called him in, asked about a legal issue. Someone emailed anonymously, claiming Daniel was in a fraud investigation, financially unstable. His boss, Sharp, gave him a chance to explain. Daniel laid it out. Boss said, "I've seen this. Desperate people. No proof it was them, but the timing? Too perfect. Daniel's clean, no enemies." Then a fake Facebook account appeared. My name, my photo, slightly different spelling. It messaged cousins, old friends, even a coworker, claiming Daniel forced me into the lawsuit. I was scared. Amateur, almost funny, until it hit my work. We reported it, screenshot everything, gave it to our lawyer. He said, "This helps your case. Keep documenting." Uncle Alan wasn't done. Invited them over, said he wanted to talk. They came. He recorded it, legal in his state. Sent us the audio. It was ugly. No remorse. They said they deserved the money. Raising 3 kids with nothing meant we owed them. Mom said, verbatim, "I wouldn't have anything if not for you kids. This house. That's because we raised you right." Alan interrupted, saying Deborah's house is in her name, not my parents'. They can't claim her life as payment. My dad got loud, accusing us of turning Deborah against them, ruining the family. Then he slipped up, admitting he'd moved the money to a secret account before things got messy. Alan pounced. "So, you have it, just hidden." That changed everything. Proof of hiding assets during a lawsuit. Our lawyer was thrilled, filing an emergency disclosure request. My parents panicked. They called me 4 times. I didn't answer. Daniel got 3 texts from my mom. Emotional, manipulative, then acting like nothing happened. He ignored them too. Then my dad showed up at my work, pretending to just check in. My manager stepped in, and he left, but not before saying, "You're tearing everything apart, Deborah." I replied, "It's already torn." Security escorted him out. Alan called, laughing, saying my dad asked him for a $10,000 loan to settle family tensions. Alan's response, "Pay Deborah first, then I'll charge interest." They showed up at our house unannounced, acting like nothing happened. My mom held a folder, claiming they needed a few thousand to finish their basement. The contractor was threatening to walk. I handed the folder back, saying, "You built it without me, finish it without me." My dad exploded, ranting about our ingratitude. My mom stayed quiet, hoping I'd cave. I didn't. Daniel stood by me, saying, "She still has a heart, just not an ATM." They left, my mom hissing that we'd regret tearing the family apart. 3 days later, their weak lawsuit response claimed it was all a misunderstanding. Loans were gifts. Our lawyer's rebuttal included the recorded conversation where my dad admitted to hiding money. The judge froze 2 of their accounts. Their contractor walked, leaving the basement half done. Then they asked Alan to settle the $25,000 debt to us as a peace offering. Alan paid it to our lawyer's escrow, and we got the money 2 days later. No party, just quiet relief with takeout on the couch. My mom's vague Facebook posts started, quotes about giving too much or bitter people. She called cousins, Evan, even Alan, accusing him of tricking them with the repayment agreement. They missed payments. Alan added late fees. My dad tried refinancing the house, but the half-done basement tanked the appraisal. They started selling things, furniture, electronics, even my mom's treadmill, on Facebook Marketplace. Alan saw my dad at the hardware store, begging for a discount with a coupon, something he'd mocked others for. Their basement's still a mess, exposed insulation, uneven floors, a pipe to nowhere. It's a symbol of their lies. Daniel and I are fine, saving the settlement money for a quiet trip next spring. My mom sends occasional texts, "Hope you're okay," never mentioning the money or apologizing. We don't reply. When asked about family, I say I'm close with Daniel. The rest can figure it out from their unfinished basement.